Hey yo, this is another episode of the Steven from the Old Time Podcast. Listen to my dad, he's awesome.
Derek has stopped hibernating and is finally back on the episode. He put a ringer on when he fell asleep and he's here. Welcome to a new episode of Steven from the All Time Podcast. I am your host, the visionary, the revolutionary, and the architect of podcasting. With my co-host this evening, the man of 1,000 edits.
You're the architect. Well, I'm the designer. I'll do the design. You architect the stuff. That's
Absolutely.
it. It's me. It's Milenko. What's up?
And finally back in the flesh.
Hey, what's up, everyone? You recognize the voice. It's the greatest there is, the greatest there was, and the greatest there ever will be. Also, self-proclaimed best hair in the podcasting game.
Yeah,
Derek Alltime.
Yeah. Do you wanna? Because I can't compete with this. Check it. Look at this.
It's flawless. Milenko, there's no competition. I'm second.
Look at the flow, baby.
It's beautiful.
I could do a perm and become like a full-time cat, like a Cat Williams perm, and be like a fucking pimp.
Absolutely.
He has the Mrs. hair in 2014.
Yeah,
has the Mrs. hair. He's got every emo kid's hair back in the early 2000s. It's amazing.
And I'm full balding.
And yes.
Since you've all known me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just continuously losing hair.
The more we do podcasts with you, the shinier your head gets every episode.
Yeah, it's true. Huh? You should.
But you know what, Derek? I really appreciate you waking up for this episode.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming.
Shooting at each other at the beginning of the podcast. I love it.
You know what? Derek was supposed to be here the last maybe 15 episodes, but didn't answer his phone, didn't show up, fell asleep.
Okay.
Small exaggeration.
Just minute. You know, like Steven's hairline. Very, very small. Very small.
Very small.
Derek, let's start off with you. How have you been? What have you been listening to? Where are you in your life?
You know, I've been doing just the regular daily grind. What have I been listening to? Been really getting into the new sleep token that came out a few weeks ago, almost a month ago. Been really getting into that. Also, we're lucky. We live in a time where all the bands that we grew up with listening in the 2000s are, for some reason, releasing music. Rise Against is releasing music. 3 Days Grace is releasing music. So I've been on that, on top of the hip hop stuff that's been coming out also. Listen, music has been quite intense at the beginning, early part of this summer. So just trying to keep up with everything and every different styles coming out has been hectic. But yeah, for the most part, not too bad.
How do you feel with the hip hop releases? Is it something that you're gravitating to more since you've been listening to hip hop, or is it difficult for you to get into?
So I've been gravitating to it. The good thing about Spotify is after a while of you listening to the same sort of music, they sort of start recommending things, and they also tell you when stuff comes out. I'm lucky I also have you to send me stuff. So there's a few names that have been popping out that the projects are interesting based on the projects that came out in the past. However, being critical, I will say that the projects that came out in the last month or so had big names attached to it, but have left me a tad underwhelmed in terms of, based on the quality of the projects that we got early on in the year. I feel like we haven't had that consistency in the last month or so. Doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that they don't have me as hooked as the projects that came on early in the year. And also, it might just be like an oversaturation. Listen, whoever says hip hop's dead, it ain't dead. It's thriving. It's absolutely insane the amount of releases that these artists are doing, especially in the underground. So in that regards, I do feel like, strangely enough, there's more releases in the hip hop, underground hip hop, than there is in the underground metal. And the underground metal is probably a little bit more well known. So yeah, for me, I don't know. Maybe my threshold for what a quality project has gone significantly higher. since I've been doing this podcast. But we'll see. We're going to talk about it on this podcast. There's 3 albums to review on this podcast, and I got opinions. Steven's got opinions. I know Malenko's got opinions. What about you, Malenko? What have you been listening to?
I put up my list because I've been on the lifestyle right now that I can listen to easily 3 to 4 albums per day. So just
wait. What's that lifestyle? What's that lifestyle? You said you've been on a lifestyle.
That I have a lot of free time for myself.
A single man in Montreal. Continue.
And I always have like if I run a lot now, I have a 40 minutes run. I did my 4K. I got 5K. I'm running 5K every day.
Let's go.
Derek. So I'm running that. So that's mostly when I train a lot now. So I have my music on and I put albums.
Brock Lesnar.
Talked about it a million times. We listen to albums. Okay. Bangkok Dangerous 3. Went back to it. Whatever makes you happy, Jameson. Pressure to Succeed, Turnstile. There's 3 styles right there. Mind Force, Excalibur, fucking great album.
Great album.
Dude, I went back to listen to Selena, Amor Prohibido, 1994, Cumbia, fucking insane. Old Young Thug, Slime Season 3, amazing. The Barter 6, amazing. DJ Screw, I listen to DJ Screw, 3 in the Morning, Part 2.
Really good.
Riff Raff, Rap Game Bon Jovi, amazing. A lot of Chopped and Screwed. I don't know why I've been listening to a lot of Chopped and Screwed, Turnstile.
Drugs.
Transplant. I listened to Transplant the other day. Slum Village 1 to 2. I mean, it doesn't stop. Kate Le Bon Reward is one of my favorite albums that I listened to lately. So yeah, a lot of music. And the new music, Mike, the new album, Mike that released, didn't like it. And there's Jay Worthy that came out with Affiliated. Which one is it? Oh no, it's London Drugs. Drugs came out with the new what is the name of that album that I always forget?
I would listen to it once and I didn't go back to it.
Damn, it was disappointed. And I was listened to it blind and it was like 4 songs. I was so pissed.
Burnout 5.
Yeah, why would he do that? Burnout is like his best series, and he came out with 6 songs.
Burnout 4 was great. Remember
5
Burnout
songs. 4? Yeah, I mean, Bad Bitch with Daz Dillinger is amazing, but dude, I was like, okay, this is gonna be crazy good album. It lasted 5 songs, so why call it a Burnout 5? Okay, whatever. So that's for me.
Billy Woods was good. Forgot to mention the Billy Woods album. But that was
that Billy Woods is crazy. I can't believe we didn't review that. Oh my god!
It's I didn't want to review because it's too complex for my brain. The Billy Woods. The Billy Woods is in my heavy rotation, but man, there's a time and place for that Billy Woods. It needs to be raining and there needs to be full depression and weirdness around.
And it's 50 something minutes, 52 minutes and 41 seconds. That's a long album. And like Steven said, don't put this thinking you're just gonna play this in the car. You're not ready.
No.
This is, we've had rainy days in Montreal. You put your headphones in, you close the blinds, you listen to this in the dark, and it's gonna bring you somewhere. It's gonna bring you to a place. Listen, shout out to him. Listen, I know we're not reviewing this album, but that's a solid fucking hip hop album right there.
Great body of work. Great. I've always liked Billy Woods, but I've always said that there's a time and place. He is actually somebody that's on my list of people to see live. He brings me back to a time and place of the definitive Jux era of New York underground hip hop. So he's somebody I really, really enjoy. I like him solo as to him being with Arm & Hammer. But anyways, that's just my opinion. But I'm telling you guys right now, if he comes to Montreal, I am buying tickets for all 3 of us. And all 3 of us are going to be going to that show because I would love to see that live in person.
Yeah. Steve, what have you been listening to?
Jesus Christ. The 3 albums that we're gonna be reviewing. I've been listening to the new Blow Azul and Spanish Ran, Deja Blue. I sent it to both of you. Really, really great project, completely produced by Spanish Ran. They have a number of albums together. There's such a jazzy storytelling, really positive energy to the album that I keep going back. So if nobody knew, I went to New York for one of my great friends' wedding. And I went to Toronto for a work conference. And it's always tough for me to find albums to listen to traveling and on a plane because there's a different energy. And usually when I'm on a plane, I feel nauseous and I get just like really anxious. And this album really put me in a great mindset. Just the production, man, is jazzy, soulful. Just you really fall into listening to what Blue Azul has to say, but the production and the instrumentation of the record really has a story to itself. It really unfolds the life of Blue Azul, and I think they really did a great job. And it really put me in that mindset that kept me calm. Like my energy was very calm. I usually listen to Rock Marciano on planes and Ka, and this really fit into that light. And the new Vic Spencer and Bucky Luger, Interstate Potluck. Every time Vic Spencer comes out with a record, I am front and center and really excited and trying to unfold his whole process in a record. And then there's the Blur, the Oasis that I just throw in every time. Yeah, and yeah, you're shaking your head, Malenko, but Oasis,
so weird.
Oasis is probably my go-to when I don't know what to listen to.
That's crazy.
All the time.
That's
the Master Plan by Oasis actually has been really heavy in my rotation.
Holy shit.
Okay. Actually, what about you, hold Malenko? On. I'm not done. Pulp. I've been listening to a lot of Pulp. The London Suede. I've been listening to a lot of Britpop. Continue.
Malenko. You want to listen to music. You don't know what to put on. What's the go-to? What's the one artist or the one band that you're like, this slaps no matter what mood I'm in, this is what I'm putting?
I'm probably gonna put like some J Dilla album. Any J Dilla. Last week I listened to Diligence with Busta Rhymes. And he talked throughout the whole album, bro. It's such a good album, but he talks through it the whole time. It's like a promotional for Back to when he was releasing Back to the BS. But there's Raw Digga in there. There's one of my favorite intro verses of all time, and best that ever did it. First verse, c'est un de mes verse préférés all time. I love that verse to death. Yeah, it's so J Dilla. J Dilla will be probably my go to.
You, Derek? I know.
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park.
I don't feel like I could go wrong with Linkin Park. Linkin Park is a band that's like so many other people. It absolutely just changed my fucking life. Korn, System of a Down.
Yo, did you see System of a Down in Brazil? Was it Brazil?
Yeah.
There was literally
light that shit on fire.
It was insane.
Billion people, and there was about 55 circle pits. And it was fireworks, insane. Fire, people dying. It was insane.
It was absolutely crazy. Yeah, I think that would probably maybe add in some Tool, depending on how I feel in terms of my mood. Tool, Opeth. Like if I get like one of those like dark and gloomy days, and like I just want to put something and like read a book while I'm doing it, like I'm gonna put Tool and Opeth. I feel like that always it's just the right spot for me. Yeah. Hopefully in the next few years it'll be hip hop. I feel like Ka would probably slide into the Opeth Tool category just by the depth of his music. Yeah, that's probably what I go to.
Before we move on to the 3 albums that we're going to be reviewing, for all the people listening, please write in the comments what is your go-to artist or album or genre of music in the comments. I think it's a great conversation to see what people that are listening to this podcast are into.
But let's go to artists.
Yeah, go to artists. Go to artists. Okay, boys, are you ready? Because we got 3 to review.
Vamos.
We're going to start off with an artist that we always review on this podcast. Every time he drops a project. I think we even did a top 5 of his records last time he dropped a project. We are talking about Rome Streetz and Conductor Williams' Trainspotting album called after the 1996 British dark comedy about a heroin addict in London.
Great movie.
Sorry?
Yeah, I remember that movie. I was
That
so
movie
young.
movie. Great fucking
Fuck. I remember watching that movie. So my cousins always used to buy VHS tapes. And I remember being young. I was probably 7 years old when that movie came out, being at my cousin's house and always looking at the cover and really not understanding what the movie was going to be about and putting it on in my mind, literally going into a fucking different warped dimension because that movie is just brilliant. Produced by Danny Boyle. And it's fucking incredible. As you get older and understand what the movie's about, is just it's something. It's a must watch for everybody that loves cinema.
Oasis didn't
yeah.
want to put the music. Didn't want to do the music for that movie
No, they didn't.
because he thought it was a Trainspotting movie. That's the true story.
The soundtrack, by the way, is great.
Yeah, but easily, like Steven said, Trainspotting. It's, I don't know how much the people that listen to us are fans of movies in general. But I think arguably it's in the top 50 movies
Probably.
of all time, easy for a lot of movie people. Like,
Yeah,
regardless of your genre,
mhm.
it's in the top 50 for sure.
Yep. Rome Street, Conductor Williams, Trainspotting. A lot to talk about with this record. When Rome Streets puts out a project, we all get excited because we do put Rome Streets in probably the top 15, top 10 artists of this category, or the last 7 to 8 years. He's always been putting out stellar projects. The thing about Rome Streets that I love the most is that he always works with one producer and he sticks to a sound. This being with Conductor Williams, and might be my first album listening to where a project is the Boldy James, but a project that I'm really invested in, completely produced by Conductor Williams. And I didn't know what to expect with this, because when you're listening to a Conductor Williams and you're listening to a Conductor Williams type of beats, you don't know what you're gonna get. You really don't. Like, when he produces for Boldy James was way different than when he was producing for West Side Gun, or what he did for Billy Woods, because he does have a track on the Billy Woods project. But I pressed play on the album, and like every other Rome Street projects, the first track is always a track that sticks out and always sets the tone for his albums, that being Andre Agassi. Now, my first opinion of this was, when am I going to get a hard-hitting song by Rome Streets on this project? That's my first opinion on everything throughout this album. And it really took me a minute to digest the production on here, because Rome Streets is always flawless with his bars, flawless with his punchlines, flawless with his hooks. But the production to me was something that really took a lot of time and energy and continuous going back to it for really me to grasp what we were trying to get. The songs aren't long on here. I love your face, Malenko. I knew this was going to happen. The songs aren't long. We got 1 minute 50 songs, 1 minute 30, 2 minute 10 songs on here. And I really get into the album at song 6 with Rule 4080. Okay, and we'll get to that song. Ricky Bobby being the standout track for me on here, featuring Method Man. I'm Cool as O'Shea, got ice up in the tray. Okay,
little O'Shea Jackson verse for all y'all.
But like, even song 7 after Rule 480, 10 Toes is really when I start feeling the album, and really when I get into the album. I find the first half of the project, besides Ricky Bobby, the beats are very empty. Like, I don't find it really produced. Look, as of 10 Toes.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy. Wow, that's crazy.
Connie's Revenge. 99 Attributes, which is my favorite song on the project.
Yeah,
Joe
man, same.
Pesci, Electric Slide, Resource Room. I find the beats before that's very empty, very empty. And it was really tough for me to really say that this is a standout project from Rome Streetz. Hopefully, the more and more I listen to it, the more and more it'll stick. But there's nothing that's punchy. There's nothing that sticks out to me. There's nothing that really grasps me to get invested at the beginning. Like I said, towards the end, that's where I'm more invested. That's where I like the production. That's where I find Conductor really takes the skeleton of the beat and makes a lot more instrumentation where it stands out and really goes hand in hand with the flow of Rome Streetz. Malenko, you're looking at me like I'm a psychopath and I'm on a fuck ton of heroin.
But
Please.
what on what did you listen with headphones to this music?
I only listen to it with headphones.
I don't know, dude. How can it? Andre Agassi, the intro is a hard hitting beat.
Yeah, but then after that, to me, kind of like really doesn't have
Mash.
Mash is great.
It's short.
Mash doesn't hit. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's short. I don't know. I find there's missing something from that production. I find it empty.
Look,
and I'm just saying half of the project.
I mean, it's your opinion. I must spoil this shit right away. For me, for these 3 albums that we reviewed, this is the album that's produced. This the album that's produced.
What?
To me.
Okay.
This the album of the 3 that's produced. It's produced. You see the levels on these 3 albums. You see the levels. To me, it's clear 3 levels on this. I mean, I think Conductor William did a great job with the pacing of the beats. Ricky Bobby is nasty. It's probably gonna be one of my favorite songs this year.
Method Man killed it.
Yeah, but that beat is nasty. I love the skits. I love the skits. It reminds me of the Redman skit. I don't know what to say. I think the whole album is Rome Street to me lately was losing a bit of weight, and with this, he came back up to my rotation for sure. You mentioned 99 Attributes.
Oh, that's a fantastic.
That's my favorite song. Yeah, but not because there's a voice sample that makes it a hard beat.
No, it adds more to the beat. I find but I mentioned,
drums are nasty, man. The drums that he uses throughout, died 1,000 times. The way in the middle, how he do that little transition with the transition with the drums. Thank you, Derek. Amazing. I think those beats are nasty beats. Conductor, we have a problem. Conductor, we have a problem. That's probably what I'm gonna play. I'm gonna edit that while you're talking at the beginning, Steven. But yeah, I loved it. I love this album.
What? Okay, can I ask you a couple of questions?
Mm-hmm.
Songs like Runny Nose.
Yep. I love those beats. I think they're hard hitting, bro. I think it is quality level, like. The level of the beats, everything is clear. The samples are well cut. The drums are hitting. I don't hear one thing more than the other the whole time. Like, I think the production wise, I think Conductor is in elite. I think he's elite.
He's a really good producer. I just find. Maybe it's because of my expectations.
Those drums on Runny Nose are amazing. I'm sorry to cut you, but those drums throughout the album, those drums are amazing.
I find the first half of the album to me is just missing something. It's missing.
It gives me the vibe. Again, I cut you off, but I just thought about it. But it gave me the cut because I listened to Mike Homie Pray for IT lately. So
really?
I think it gives me the same. I was in love with those beats when it came out. I think Conductor, his best beats are still on that album, but in here, man, I think he brings the vibe. It brings the vibe. I think Rome is perfect for Rome Street.
Do you find the first half of the album just how razor sharp Rome Streetz is, that he overpowers the beats?
No. I love the way the album is is leveled. I love it. I love the two halves.
Because
As soon as Heartbreaker, I feel like when a Heartbreaker starts and he's like more like a like a women's song. I fucking love that beat too. I love that beat. I love how he rounds it up for Rome Street, and then 10 Toes. I just don't see much flaws. 10 Toes is probably the beat that I liked less. He tried something different there, like a West Coast, East Coast type of mixed beat there. Jay Worthy did okay on it. I think it needed a little bit more flow on that. I think he should have maybe slow it down or make it sweeter a bit. But
it's one of my favorite tracks on the album. It's literally, I have here written Ricky Bobby, 10 Toes, Connie's Revenge, 99 Attributes, Joe Pesci, and Electric Slide. Those are my favorite songs on here. Those are the beats I love the most on here that really stuck with me. And I love that
they're beefy. The beats, they're all beefy. Do you find, Eric? They're not minimalistic. I don't think there's minimalistic at all. Even though the maybe the structure of it, but he's always playing with the beats, Conductor. He's always adding something. It's not just sample based.
I'll say it like this. This album does have standout tracks. But by the end of this album, I honestly couldn't wait to move on to the next album. For me,
I'll give you that.
For me, it felt flat. It felt flat. I feel like I got in the groove of it, and there wasn't enough beats that were significantly different to sort of break up the flow of the album enough for me. So at some point, like, it fell flat. Like, MASH was really good. For me, MASH is really good. I really enjoyed Blood in His Boogers as well. And then after that, everything sort of felt flat until Electric Slide and Resource Room, which I really enjoyed. Resource Room. I know it felt... I'm trying to think. I understand
empty?
the sort of the flow of the album, and I'll give it to that. The way the album was layered and flowed in terms of the production was really good. I guess I just wish maybe Rome Streetz would have tried to switch it up a little bit more. He has a unique voice, but at least for me personally, I don't feel like he switched up his flow or his cadence enough to sort of break and make all the songs not sound the same. Because Conductor Williams did a really good job in terms of presenting him with a flow to the project. And then I feel like whenever you have a flow to a project from song 1 to 14, that like all the beats sort of bleed into each other, which is really good. Like that's an album that has a theme, that has a purpose of where it's going. I feel like it's up to the artist to sort of try and switch things up to sort of like make sure that like it doesn't bleed as much, to give like more like standalone moments. And I just didn't get that. It doesn't mean that he's not a good lyricist or that his bars weren't good. Everything sort of bled into one another to the point where it feels like a very cohesive work, a very like, because nothing sort of stands out in a large way. To me, it's not an album that I'm going to necessarily revisit, other than maybe listening to the bars a little bit closer, be like, oh, I see what he did there, or I see what he did there. But it's not something I'm going to go back and I'm going to put on a beat or put on a specific song and be like, damn, that's my shit right there. I listened to it maybe a handful of times. I want to say like around 5 or 6 times. And yeah, that's it was a good album. It wasn't a great album. It wasn't a bad album. It was a decent album. And that's pretty much, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I agree, because the main thing that I I probably don't. It's the end. I don't like after 99 attributes. To me, the last two tracks kind of fell flat. But other than that, man, I love this whole thing before, I should say.
As of Rule 480 to me, which Rule 40 to me is kind of like the stepping stone of the album, where I find that if you want to talk about, because I don't find I got anything different from Rome. Okay. Again, lyrically, Rome is always on point. He's always razor sharp. I just don't find I got anything different from this project from the previous Rome projects. And if I'm gonna go back to a Rome project and for something to stand out to me, it's gonna be that Derringer album. It's gonna be those Future Waves projects. To me, those albums really cement the sound of Rome Streetz. And going back to Rule 4080, that's a really different style of beat that I'm not really accustomed to hearing Rome Street on. So it stood out to me. And that was kind of like when the album, like I mentioned, turned like from being the empty, very short song part of the album to where, I started to enjoy the project more. I got the more up-tempo beats. The beats sounded a lot more layered and there was a lot more instrumentation to. And Rule 4080, which is the record company People Are Shady rule, basically Rome talking about how if you sign a record label, you will get taken advantage of. And it was very different to hear Rome on that style of production. And the samples that were used in that song, it's something that you don't really hear Rome Streetz on, so it stood out. But besides like 10 Toes, which is a more West Coast beat, like you mentioned, Malenko, 99 Attributes, there's nothing really that really says, hey, I need to go back to this because Rome is in a different bag or Conductor is in a different bag. And that's just basically how I feel right now. We'll see how I feel going forward. Malenko, what's your score?
I give this a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. Derek?
I'm gonna give this a 6.5 on 10.
Yeah, I'm going with a 6.5 as well. I'm going with a 6.5. I was expecting a lot more. I'm just gonna be as honest as I possibly could. And look, if this record comes out on CD, I'm gonna buy it. I own every single Rome Street project, and it's a project I want to own. I just really hope it grows on me in the future.
Okay.
Next up is Sean Lynx, the man of many hats, completely produced by Sean Lynx, all raps done by Sean Lynx. I'm gonna start it off. Sean Lynx, an artist I've been a fan with for many years. It's somebody who, when they put out a project, almost like Rome Streetz, is somebody that I always have my ear to. I always want to see what he's going to bring to the table, because to me, lyrically, as a lyricist, he is a swordsman. This guy, to me, always comes correct. I am always listening to what he has to say, how he's going to say it, and how he's going to present it. His previous albums that really stood out to me, obviously The Iceman, Mad Max, and Bolo Yang. Those are projects that I got into, and that's really when I said to myself, like, this dude could rap. Like, this is rap dude. Like, this is the guy that could rap like when we used to go out and want to listen to Jadakiss. This is the guy that could rap like when we were waiting for a Raekwon album to come out, or a Ghostface Killah album to come out, or a Jizza album to come out. Like he mentioned on this project, he is a woo baby. And you could tell, with the way he presents himself on a song. If there's anybody that's the closest to rapping like Raekwon, it's Sean Lynx. He's got his whole technique. He's got his own style. He's got his whole that whole energy from a Raekwon. And to me, as Raekwon being one of my top 5 favorite artists ever, okay, and I put Raekwon against any artist in the world, like Sean Lynx is really that, man. Like he could really rap, and I love how he presents himself on songs, because back in the 90s we used to listen to our artists a lot more for their delivery and what they were saying and how they were saying it than maybe the production or maybe the hooks. This dude is the whole thing. He has everything that I want in a artist, in a rapper. He has it all. And he has that lyrical technique that for many years was tough for me to get into artists, because it's like sometimes I just want to close my brain and not have a concept to something and just listen to a guy rap. And he gives me all of that. But on this record, The Man of Many Hats, you get more of a developed Sean Lynx. You get more of a Sean Lynx where he's a lot more comfortable and who he is as a rapper, that like you hear him singing on Man of the Year, and Man of the Year being one of my favorite songs on here. You see him as a more developed artist. The Wavy Edition, NC shit, North Carolina shit, really that, like, I love it. I just love how he's able to bring it to the table, and it really makes me be able to listen to the vocals and listen to his rhyme patterns and his rhyme technique more than anything. And his production, he has that old school 90s production. He's tapped into that. He brings that 90s love of hip hop back to what it is. Fuck. Sometimes, like, I'm listening to my wish to be like, man, I really wish Nas had the ear for that style of production, because maybe his songs and his albums would be a lot better than what they were. You know, like there was always that lyricist that always had trouble making records, like actual albums.
Mm-hmm. How many of those are there?
There's a lot.
King Los, no shade on Los whatsoever. One of the greatest lyricists to ever do it. I'm always looking forward to his projects, but there's him. Locksmith, another one. Locksmith, a fantastic lyricist. But then whenever it comes down to putting, like, in terms of putting pen to paper for a lot of these artists on freestyles and on singles, nailing it. Nothing to throw at them. But then whenever they go to put a body of work together to put a solid 11, 12, 13 song album, and for some reason, it never translates. Mm-hmm. It just never translates. Luckily, a guy like Sean Lynx is able to do that. He has that ear for the beat. He has a good flow. He's got that sort of 90s Wu-Tang flair to him.
Technique.
But I just don't know if that project was the showcase, you know, like I don't know if I want to make anyone discover Sean Lynx. Personally, I don't think this is the album that I'm gonna do that with. Personally.
I understand that. I get what you're getting at. Absolutely. It's not the first. It's not, hey, let me get into Sean Lynx. I'm not gonna give him this project.
No,
I'm gonna give him his earlier work for them to build up to the artist that Sean Lynx has become.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about the project? Besides that, you being somebody that, and I know you for this because you mentioned a lot of lyricists. Mm-hmm. You like listening to artists for how they are able to create their bars, how they're able to create, like, just, you're a lyrical guy. You like lyrics. Yeah. You're able to break that down.
I really do like. I do like a good lyricist. Like, what got me into hip hop in the first place, other than Steven really being into it, was freestyles. I think one of the first things I ever listened to from a true hip hop perspective was Black Thought's freestyle. You know, and I was like, holy shit. Like, I was just not ready for that. And even in terms of metal music, like, there's bands that I referred to earlier, Tool, System of a Down. There are people who they craft their music very well, from a musical perspective, but also from a lyrical perspective. There's always a theme there. They have a way with words and crafting the lyrics to their songs. So in that regards, Sean Links hits that for me. Absolutely. There's no doubt in terms of his bars, in terms of his lyricism. Um, I'm also not quite familiar with the 90s style hip hop. So maybe for me, that was not a downside to this album, but it's being something that I'm not used to. I don't feel like I was able to fully appreciate and grasp this album for what it is and knowing where he's coming from. Because I got into hip hop really late in the game and really listened to a lot of modern hip hop and underground hip hop, I haven't delved into the more old school 90s style of hip hop. So for me, that not that it didn't make me enjoy this project as much, but I wasn't approaching it with a trained ear, if that makes sense. So for me, I like a lot of songs. Like I think My Name was really good. I really enjoyed. I think Man of the Year was really good as well. House of the Gods, I really enjoyed. I enjoyed some of those beats and some of those songs. But those also felt like they were slightly more modern compared to the rest. I feel like if I revisit this project after maybe having listened to a little bit more Wu-Tang and will listen to a little bit more Raekwon and stuff like that, and I revisit this project, I feel like I might better appreciate it rather than the state that I'm in now of approaching this very much with young and untrained ears, which means that my opinion on this is skewed. I know that I'll enjoy this more the more I start diving into this sound. But I know that that's going to take work from my part as well. Not saying that he didn't kill it or anything, but I think it might be a little easier for guys like you that have been listening to hip hop for a long time to be able to better appreciate this for what it is, rather than me being more into the modern hip hop stuff.
Malenko?
I appreciate the way that he did every beat on here. More power to him. It's tough to do like the rapping and producing. I think sometimes you maybe gonna do more beats that you like for yourself than something you're gonna give away. But
comfort zone. It puts himself in the comfort zone of it.
And I love like him trying different stuff. Like Calculated is a very, very weird beat. Very weird. Maybe for me, I'm not like a really great fan of the beat. I thought it was maybe a bit tough. But I appreciate him trying some different, like Calculated is really is rare that I hear beats like that. It's really rare that you hear beats like that. Those drums are all over the place. They're like, there's like two, I think I would love to see how he did that beat. Maybe it's two set of drums running through each other on loop. I don't know. It feels like it's two songs playing at the same time for me. That's how I see it. I love songs, Wavy Edition and Tech Support. Tech Support is an old Jay Dilla sample that. Or Madlib.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, on Champion Sound. Just for a little skit. And I like the album.
I want to ask you a question because me and you have been listening to hip hop for a very long time.
Yes,
and a very long time, and
yes,
different than Derek. And I love that Derek is part of these conversations because he has those fresh ears. But like for guys like me and you, who really grew up in a time where we were really looking at artists for their lyrical ability and their lyrical technique. To me, Sean Link fits in that category as that style of MC. When you're listening to a project like The Man of Many Hats or Sean Link, like how are you listening to it? Are you listening to it where you're just gonna really pay attention to him as the MC and his lyrical ability, or are you gonna listen to the project as a whole?
I never listened to a rapper just for it's a rapper, so I always listen to the lyrics.
Okay. Because
there's never if I listen to rap is a full front of lyrics. So I'm never gonna listen to an album of rap not for the lyrics. Like even if it's dumb. I had a discussion with one of my friends last time. Like sometimes I think sometimes rappers I need that super intelligent rap. Like I need that dumbest shit ever said on a rap. Like I need it. Like I listen to Riff Raff. Like Riff, like yeah, the dumbest lyrics ever, but I listen for the lyrics because it makes me fucking laugh. You know,
Yeah. See,
he 3-wheel to the Olympics. He done stole the torch. Yeah, that makes me laugh. Like he shoot Dyson with Larry Kidd in Barcelona. Like that's I always gonna listen to lyrics, no matter who's the rapper is the main thing.
and the reason why I'm asking is because when I listen to Sean Link, I'm really able to put to like I'm gonna listen to the beats that he's on, and I'm gonna listen to really front and center him. And
No,
how
I can't do that, man. I can't separate both. It's one listen.
so it's like almost the same thing as when I listen to Rock Marciano. When I listen to Rock Marciano, he is an artist that I'm able to remove the full beat away and really only be able to listen to what he's saying, and the beat totally doesn't exist because I'm so invested in the artist.
No, I'm too ADHD for that. I cannot separate stuff like that.
I do
I
it.
can't.
I do it,
Yeah,
Steven.
I can't. I
Yeah.
can't. It's all one. I'm gonna cut one shot. Like sometimes, and listen, I'm gonna be strictly honest. On calculated, it's exactly on. Look, on calculated, there's a snare or a hi-hat or a hi-hat. I don't know what it is, but the whole song it goes. And I kept that thing like was tough for me to not listen to it.
Huh. Okay.
So maybe I can separate both. But on calculate on the example on this album, on calculate there's a snare. If it be, I don't want to ruin for people, but there's a snare or a hi-hat. I don't know, but there's a tick, 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 that goes the whole song. And I kept that's the whole thing that I was listening in my left ear. It was on my left ear, and I the whole time I was trying to listen, and I hear it, and I couldn't do it.
Crazy because I was at the airport listening to this when it came out, because it came out on a weird day. It came out like on a Wednesday, and I was like fuck, I could really, he's an artist where I'm able really to remove the full complete beat out of it and be able to just listen to him. And I've done this with all his projects. And last year he came out with Champion Killer, where where it was like 30 to 40 songs of him just rapping on 90s and 2000s beats. And that's one project that like really stood out to me because it really made me so much more invested as him, as the lyrical beast that he is. I just wanted to ask that question because
that's a good question. I didn't even think of people able to separate both.
You see, like when we get into the next artist that we're gonna talk about, the main event of the evening, I won't. That's an artist that I can't do that with.
No,
I can't. Okay. Let's give our rating. Go with Derek first.
I will give this a 7 on 10. The only reason why it gets higher than the first album we reviewed is just in terms of the tone of voice, the lyricism, the different cadences. It slightly edges out the first project that we reviewed. But I do feel like this is a project that will grow on me the more I start diving deeper into the more old school type of hip hop.
Malenko?
I would go with a 6.5 out of 10. I think it's pretty much the same thing as the tone, maybe. Compare of what I was listening to lately. I've been really listening to more like moving music. So, yeah, it's 6.5.
I'm gonna go with a 7.5. I'm always my ears are always open for when he puts out a project. I just the dude brings the closest thing I could get to that sound that I grew up listening to. And I want to tell Sean Lynx this thing. Dude, if you make another mixtape or you make an album with beats sounding like they're from Dipset, Rockefeller, 2000s, it's gonna be an incredible piece and an incredible body of work that you're going to get a lot of ears to what you're doing, man, because you have that voice. That voice is a stamp. That voice is a staple into what hip hop is and to what we want from our artists. So salute to him and salute to that. I'm giving it a 7.5. Main event. Look,
Well,
we could have reviewed this last week, but I said, Malenko, let's take our time with it, because I'll be honest, the last couple of projects from him, they were good, but they didn't resonate with me as much as this, because when he puts out music, this dude puts out so much music in a given 12 months, 365 days, that it's just like, oh fuck, he came out with a record. Wait a minute, 2 weeks later, he's coming out with another project. Wait, hold on. 6 months later, another project. Oh, wait, don't forget to go on his website, because he's putting out a bunch of fucking merchandise, and Malenko never buys it. I am talking about CRIMEAPPLE and DJ Skizz, Rose Gold.
Whoa.
Malenko,
Oh,
CRIMEAPPLE is your favorite, one of your favorite.
when you hear that, when he start with that shit, you know he's going in. Oh fuck. Oh,
Malenko, kick it off.
shit.
Rose Gold, CRIMEAPPLE, and DJ Skizz.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what to say anymore about CRIMEAPPLE. I don't know what to say about CRIMEAPPLE. For me, it's always something that I can go back to, and I'm always gonna like. I like his style. I'm never gonna get tired of it. It's like West Side Gun for me now. Like he rarely fails. Jaguar on Palisade 3 was a bit underwhelming.
Very. For me.
This Is Not That was great.
Apollo Brown.
Breakfast was okay. Los Pollos Hermanos was good. Like, I mean, he never fails. This, to me, again, of the production wise, I think he's on DJ Skizz gets him. I don't know what to say. When it's a slow ass beat, I know Crime is gonna drop some dimes on there. I think if there's one thing that I found about this album that I'm like, okay, this is his style, okay, and this is gonna be highly controversial. I think CRIMEAPPLE is like if you take Cameron and you take Action Bronson and you combine them together. That's CRIMEAPPLE to me.
I hear it.
Similes. I love his similes. He has good like humor, like and he paints picture. He like the exaggeration. Like he paints a picture a bit like what Action would say. Like he has 3 Pedros in the car following him, like with the mullet. Like I feel like that's something like Action would say. And the similes and the flow talk about like Cameron. He got the similes like Cameron. When he goes in on some verses and he does those patterns, the guy he's crazy with the words. I love the way he goes with the similes. So again, I think it starts with Tastes Like Butter. And I love that beat.
It's so good.
Oro Rosa after is
fantastic.
Those when he goes into those beats, those like a kind of like horror fucking gospel beats.
Yeah.
With the violin, when the violin is there and the fucking, he's going in. Every song, all my favorite songs of his is those slow songs when he just go the fucking Congratulation. I love Congratulation. World Famous with Estinac and Ito. Discounts is nasty.
World famous, like so the record, Malenko, I'm sorry to cut you off. I need to cut you off there. Tastes Like Butter, by the way, first and foremost, is probably top 5 favorite songs for me of the year. His just the delivery.
Intro?
Oh my God, Malenko. Tastes Like Butter?
Yeah.
Like just.
And
Tastes like butter.
Like that's another thing. Like I'm sorry, but the hooks, I think he's not the greatest with the hooks. He's not but he got hooks all the time that is gonna get you. And it's like underground hooks, they're perfect. I feel like even if he takes that or he takes like an old song and he re-sing it again, it's funny for me.
It's out of pocket, but it's so in pocket.
Yeah,
like he's so in pocket with this. But world famous with Estenak and Ito.
Yeah.
Like,
does Estenak breathe sometimes?
No. And
he's crazy. He's like, he's one word. His verse is like one word. He breathes 3 times. He takes 3 breaks through. After that, it's just bars.
But the beat.
Yeah, DJ Skizz does this thing. He knows CRIMEAPPLE. I mean.
But if you look at the way the project starts with Tastes Like Butter, Oro Rosa, how do you pronounce it? Paradigms and Discount. It's like he kind of like starts off the album kind of like smooth, okay? And then when World Famous hits, it's like, fuck. In which direction is this record gonna go? Where did this beat come out of? And he has like, these are the only featurings on here, and he went to really go get like those heavyweights like Estenak and Ito. Fuck. How refreshing this, like Estenak, we hear him all the time. God bless his soul. I love Estenak, but hearing Ito on a beat like this, like, is fucking refreshing. These 3 guys are kind of like the 3 first that we, like, when we got into, like, that Ito really stood out to me. That DJ Muggs project, or the project he did with Superior, those are albums that were like are a staple in my brain because they were always things I would go back to. And hearing him on here, it's like, fuck. It's like they're all hungry. The thing about a record like this is that they're still all hungry after 5, 6, 7 years of rapping. CRIMEAPPLE to me on this project, and Derek, I don't know how much you're into CRIMEAPPLE, or this might be one of the first 2 projects, because I know you listen to Bazooko, but that's like CRIMEAPPLE at one point, Malenko, and you said this, Jaguars on Palisade 3 kind of was underwhelming. And he has those projects here and there when he puts up too many that are very like, I didn't need this. Like El Leon, 2CB, and Bazooko were project. I only needed those 3. I didn't need the other one that he put out was what was it called? I have it right here.
Escama is pretty. It's okay.
Let Him Cook. Like I didn't need that. I didn't need the Los Pollos and Manos. It's good. I didn't need a Escama. Same thing. But he sounds
Cantante. I didn't like. That was probably the only one I didn't like.
Well, we didn't buy them on CD, and usually we buy everything CRIMEAPPLE. Since me and you have gotten into CRIMEAPPLE, like what, 5 years ago?
Yeah, like, more than that.
Well, yeah, we've been buying everything. You would buy one, I would buy the next one. We would always be those guys that would buy the CRIMEAPPLE project. But there's projects that really didn't need to come off, and he didn't sound hungry on them. He just sounded like, hey, I'm going to put this project out just for my fans to be able to listen to it. They didn't stick. On Rose Gold, CRIMEAPPLE sounds hungry. CRIMEAPPLE fucking 2018, 2017, hungry CRIMEAPPLE. These songs stick. I said, as soon as the CD version came out, Malenko, I bought it for us. No fucking questions. Like, he had 97 Tape Master.
Yeah, that's old school.
Okay. Congratulations, Paulie. And he's always talking about stuff on here that's kind of like, hey, my life was like this. Now I'm fucking wherever I am in the world, living life. I am happy to be here. But he still has that hungry MC rapper mentality, energy, just feeling better, drinking better, smoking better, eating better. Like,
positive. Listen, it's positive. He's enjoying life. He's clearly enjoying making music. There's some big boy talk on there, but it's positive big boy talk. It's not like big boy talk like
it's a humble big boy talk.
It's humble big boy talk, but it's also his personal journey. It's big boy talk, but of how he bettered his life and how his life is better through his music and through these decisions that he's made. Listen, I'm all about someone who betters their lives in any way, shape, or form. I encourage everyone to better their lives, whether it's through eating better, whether it's through exercise, whether it's through getting help, whether it's through music, whether it's through anything. I'm all for people getting better. Um, and listen, Crime Apple, this specific project, I could play this in a car any given day. I have no issues with this whatsoever. Tastes Like Butter is a fantastic track. Congratulations is fantastic. I really enjoyed Pastor's Whip as well.
Oh yeah.
Listen, I'm not too well versed on Crime Apple, but I feel like this project out of the three that we listened to is probably, for me anyway, and my more relatively untrained ears, the more approachable project in terms of like, I recognize some of these beats, I recognize some of these patterns, I recognize the sort of sound that the production is trying to put together on this project. Yeah, all of it is honestly really good. Nothing really sticks out on this album that's inherently bad or that inherently doesn't make sense. Everything here is really good. It's 39 minutes long, which I absolutely love. I love albums that fall between that half an hour and under 45 minutes. I absolutely love that length of album. It's perfect for a drive. And once again, I'm the type of person that when I listen to music, I, especially hip hop, a little bit less in metal and rock, other than like if I listen to prog or stuff like that. But hip hop, I tend to do a bit of like my first listen. I essentially don't listen to any lyrics or any rapping whatsoever. I only listen to the production. And I do this because I feel like I have a better understanding and a better appreciation of the rapper on the second listen, because I sort of get a feel for the beats that are being laid out and the theme of it and the flow of it. And that allows me to be like, oh, okay, so what am I getting from this? Am I getting like moody 80s? Am I getting a more modern drill? Am I getting bass heavy? Am I getting like no bass? Am I getting drumless? So how is the artist going to approach this? And then I listen to the artist only, and then at the end, my third listen, fourth and fifth, I listen to the cohesive project together. Yeah. I feel like that way I'm able to better isolate the things that we talk about on the show, first of all. And I also feel like it gives me a better understanding as to why a producer gave this canvas to the artist and how the artist approached it. And we reviewed this on previous albums, but there's just sometimes there's these artists and these producers that are very respected and very good in their own rights, but sometimes the project with them together doesn't feel cohesive. It doesn't feel like they were together for this. There's like a difference. And then we go back to a project like the Chain Noir project that we reviewed, where it absolutely felt like it was a match made in heaven. There's just sometimes producers and artists come together and they just make magic. And listening to CRIMEAPPLE with DJ Skizz, listen, the template he laid out for him was perfect. It flowed well. It wasn't too erratic and too like in your face, but it was just enough. Like Malenko said, it was humble. It was easy going. It's an easy listen, but the beats are hard. But
easy enough. Easy enough. That song is crazy too.
It's crazy. I feel like the beats provide that sort of like catchy headbanging, bopping sort of feel, and then CRIMEAPPLE approaches it with a smooth and sort of
so smooth, bro,
mellow kind of thing, and it just makes for a really enjoyable listening experience. Put this in the car, windows down during the summer. No one's going to be upset at this. Put this at a barbecue party. No one's going to be upset at this whatsoever. It was really good, and it was out of the three projects that we reviewed, this one was by far my favorite.
Same.
Yeah, absolutely. Same thing for me.
I've been around the world and I can't my baby. I love that he took that fucking hook. It's so funny. It's like,
no, I don't know. He's great.
And he sings it like nonchalant, like you've been around the world. Like, nah, nah, nah. I love it. I love that shit.
Look, I'm so happy. I really loved this project the way I did, because like I mentioned, like there's projects that I'm just like, yeah, I didn't need that. Yeah, you shouldn't have put this out there. Hey, it didn't stick to me like as much as the previous stuff, and it's a really hungry body of work from him. Malenko, like, okay,
Paradigms doesn't give you a Cameron vibe.
absolutely 110%.
That's such a camera. Like that's why. Like I think I mixed. It's like Easy Enough and Paradigms for me. It's like there's one that's really like Action Bronson type vibe, and the other one is really camera. And that's when they all click. I'm like, Easy exactly if you combine both of them together.
Yeah.
Like I think I said it way back in there, but I think CRIMEAPPLE resonates for me because he matched kind of my personality of what I like. Like he talks shit and he's confident in himself, and he like I love the bars on here. Like he's gonna talk shit. He's gonna have that big boy talk like Darius says. But he's nothing too crazy. He's like nothing too crazy.
I love
like
that you're saying this. I absolutely love that you're saying this. Because whenever Steven sent the list of the albums that he wanted us to review and CRIMEAPPLE was there, CRIMEAPPLE in my head, that's your guy.
Yeah, that's my guy.
That's Malenko's guy. Like in my head, I'm like CRIMEAPPLE, that's Malenko's guy.
Yeah.
You know, like because every podcast that I used to listen to that was just you and Steven, it was you were so high on CRIMEAPPLE. I was like, all right, now's the chance. Now's the chance I get to listen to one of his projects, and I get it. I get it. It's smooth, it's easy, it's effortless. He doesn't sound like he's trying too hard. He just
there's no aggression to it.
Listen, it's smooth like butter.
Off the tongue, tip of the tongue. Malenko, like Aguardiente, Wet Dirt, which is another album with DJ Skizz.
My favorite song of
Medallo.
My favorite song of CRIMEAPPLE is Pasteles of Wet Dirt, and Pasteles is not on streaming services anymore.
Hey,
I have it on CD.
Panem, Jaguars and Palisade.
Yeah.
If I don't see you in paradise, Metalos con más Exidos. Remember when that came out? It was like December.
I have it here. Yeah, I have it here.
You don't fuck with Crime 1 and 2.
Yeah, I have it here. The only vinyls I have is CRIMEAPPLE vinyls.
Cartagena.
Yeah. No, I fucking I think still my favorite is You Don't Fuck With Crime. You Don't Fuck With Crime 1 and when You Don't Fuck With Crime 3 to me is his best work.
Hey asshole, where's my El Leon?
It's still here.
Is it bent?
No, not at all.
Can I get it maybe in 2025?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, let's go with the ratings. Derek.
This is going to be an 8 on 10 for me. Listen, it's a really solid project. I'm going to play this in the car. Easy. It's going to be in the rotation in terms of like the things I'm going to listen to this summer. This for sure it's up there. Yeah, I enjoyed this.
Malenko?
I'll give
be honest.
I'll give a 8.5 Thomas out of 10. Toma. There you go.
I'm going with an 8 on 10.
8.5. Yeah, I fucking love this. It's gonna play in the again, Easy Enough is one of my favorite songs of his. Pretty much. Again.
Thank you for giving
Crystal
us this
City.
project.
Yep.
Oh man. But
how he finished it on Crystal. I love when he finished albums. He always finishes it right.
There's a flow to it, right? Like it's really well structured. If there's something I'm gonna always repeat on this podcast till I'm blue in the face and the fucking people that listen are gonna get annoyed, is the way you put your record together and how the songs flow one after another and what you give me at the beginning to invest me, and how you make it end where I'm not bored of your record. CRIMEAPPLE fucking did this with this project, man. Absolutely. And he has a really good ear for that, because a lot of his projects are like this from day one.
And it just makes a more enjoyable listening experience. Listen, do I think that sometimes artists just sometimes it feels like some artists put out albums and projects and EPs that I feel are 6 singles mashed into a record. Listen, nothing wrong with that. But give me a solid album that has a theme going through it, that has a flow going through it, and a carefully and thoughtful layout through the album, where the beginning sets the pace, the middle picks it up, and the end wraps everything by giving the slight nod to the beginning. Hook, line, and sinker, I'm in. To me, that's a cohesive project, and it's a project that's been thought out. It's a project that someone took time to piece together for a truly enjoyable experience. Not that I don't enjoy albums with just bangers, I do. But whenever albums have a flow to it like this, and the album wraps up, it's kind of like closing the cover of a book. Like they always do that little nod to the beginning, and it's a perfect way to wrap it up. At the end, I'm like, that was good. You know, like we need more albums like this, and this one was right up there.
Yep.
All right, boys.
That's it.
Another 3 reviews. To all the people listening, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We're over 100 subscribers.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody who pays attention, everybody that taps in. We appreciate you greatly. I'm going to be going on vacation. We have one more episode before I go on vacation. Me and Derek are going to be doing this Saturday for the Money in the Bank WWE PLE. Hopefully Derek shows up.
Our truth is going to show up.
Our truth is going to show up and win the Money in the Bank because
I should think Carlito are going to be in a tag team together.
Thank you for joining. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe. Besides that, boys, it's been a pleasure. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely.
Peace everyone. Peace.